The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Over the weekend, we had some incredible commentary from Republican Senate nominee Todd Akin, who's in Missouri running against Senator Claire McCaskill. He came up with this idea that, listen, there's two types of rape. There's legitimate rape, and there's, I guess by its definition, illegitimate rape. Now, if in cases of legitimate rape, the body reacts very differently. In other words, when there has been a legitimate rape, a real rape, so to speak, Lewis, the body a woman's body shuts down and it just doesn't get pregnant. It knows, Lewis, whether this is a legitimate or illegitimate rape and knows whether that woman should get pregnant or not.
Is that exactly what's going on?
Well, let's play it. Let's play it and see exactly what Todd Akin had to say. This has got to be one of the most outrageous clips. Again, we seem to be making new highs regularly with these clips.
Okay, so if an abortion could be considered in a case of, say, a tubal pregnancy or something like that, what about in the case of rape? Should it be legal or not?
Well, you know, people always want to try and make that as one of those things. Well, how do you slice this particularly tough sort of ethical question? It seems to me, first of all, from what I understand from doctors, that's really rare. If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. But let's assume that maybe that didn't work or something. You know, I think there should be some punishment, but the punishment ought to be on the rapist and not attacking the child.
Right, there you go. What do you think of that, Lewis? Have you heard anything like that?
That is, it's amazing.
It really is. The body knows when it's being raped, and it will just, quote, shut the whole thing down. Let's talk to a doctor who agrees with that. I tried to find one. I couldn't. If you know of a doctor that can explain that to us, please, I would love to speak to him.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that doctor would have a cross around his neck.
Sometimes the body will shut down the whole thing. Sometimes it'll just do a reboot. It won't always do a full shutdown. As you know, Lewis, sometimes the computer needs to be restarted. Sometimes you need a full shutdown.
Well, just turn off the valve.
Right.
You know, only turn the valve on when you actually want to have a baby.
The body is a series of tubes that you can just back your truck up onto.
And dump stuff on.
And if it's legitimate rape, it'll shut the whole thing down. If we were an advanced society, a comment like Todd Akin's would make it so that no one votes for him. Unfortunately, we're not, because people are still going to vote for him. I mean, Natan, what does it say about our society that type of comment doesn't just immediately disqualify you even from running?
Well, it tells you that we're in a place where people use these types of things to identify with a candidate. Although in this election, I don't think that this is going to change someone's mind either way. I think people are going to vote based on economic issues, whether they're voting against or for their interests. They're not going to have these things in mind.
What do you think, Lewis?
There are two types of people who are going to vote for him again. One of them is a person who agrees with what he just said, and who will agree with whatever he says anytime. The other person is someone who knows nothing about what he says and doesn't pay attention to it.
And is voting for the person with the R next to their name. I have a feeling the only legitimate rape in Todd Akin's mind would be if it was his own daughter or his wife, right? I mean, let's talk about what would really, for him, be a legitimate rape. It would be one that a family member is involved in, as often is the case with these guys.
Perhaps, yeah.
The logical thing now would be to hear from him a description of a legitimate rape and an illegitimate one. That would be really fascinating to have him just define the terms for us.
Yeah, I think he might struggle with that, but I'm sure whatever he comes up with, it will be absurd.
At least he's admitting that legitimate rape is wrong. Maybe that's if we want to grasp at straws for at least something to look at with this guy, he's at least saying that legitimate rape is wrong. Illegitimate rape maybe is okay, fine, we have to give him that. But at least the legitimate rape is wrong.
So there's a chance that he's a human being, is what you're saying. It's
beyond my comprehension that someone can be so ignorant. Do you think he's a victim of legitimate intelligence or illegitimate intelligence?
I think there's no intelligence. Real or fake, legit or illegitimate.
It's not even so much that this right-wing social conservative ideology is short-sighted, useless, or counterproductive. It's just stupid. I mean, what is Todd Akin talking about? It's just there's no way to sugarcoat it. We have to call this for what it is. I really hope, my last thought on this is I really hope that mainstream media does not do a false equivalency hack job on this where they say, on the one hand, Todd Akin and some of his supporters say that there's legitimate rape and illegitimate rape, while on the other hand, some people don't agree. You know, the false, every story, you got to give both sides evenly. I really hope this doesn't turn into that.
Yeah, same here. We'll see.